How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I just wanted to talk about the future of alcohol. Will alcohol still be with us in the same form as it is now in, say, 50 years or 100 years' time? I'm talking about this from the perspective of when you look at the massive changes that have happened in the cigarette market over the past few years, the past couple of decades. I'm not talking about this from the sense of prohibition or banning the substances, it didn't work in the 1930s. It's not going to work now. It hasn't worked with all the other drugs, the war on drugs and big boss there telling you what the fuck you can put into your body and what you can't put into your body. I'm not talking about any of that stuff, I'm talking about people wising up to what they're putting into the body, and I think it's happening, that kind of we're on a good sort of route down which we're travelling now. I think in terms of people starting to get out and exercise more and realise that a lot of things that happen to us as we go through life are caused by ourselves. But there's a long way to go, I think. You're talking about changing the thinking of generations. Not just the thinking of a person's lifestyle, of a person's lifetime. It basically boils down to that in the individual. You've got to change the thinking that you were born with. You've got to change the thinking that you were taught when you were growing up. And a lot of the time that's it's difficult to do. But it's something that we and only we have the power to do. Right, to change our own thinking. So that's from where I'm looking at this is, just people getting intelligent about their own bodies and people having education. I think that should be the number one thing in schools, is teaching people about how to treat their own bodies and their minds and, the things that are going to help them in life, things that are going to prolong their life and prolong not only the years in their life, but give them a better quality of life. I think that's down to the way that we teach people. I've always thought that, you can go in and you can learn about how high the highest mountain happens to be in your particular neck of the woods, or the longest river, or, what somebody did fucking 500 years ago in your country, and we worship that kind of thing. But we pay very little attention to the most important things in life, how to feed yourself properly, how to make sure that your body is getting the right nutrients, how to feed your mind properly, how to exercise your body and make sure that your body stays healthy, not only becomes healthy. That's what we tend to do these days is we tend to sort of try and fix things that are on the way to being broken. We don't stop drinking until there's a problem. We don't try and change our diets until we're obese, or we've been down to the doctor and the doctor has said, yeah, because of your lifestyle you've got this, or that, or whatever, So it's not a preventative way of looking at things, and that's the best way of doing it, is to work on trying to push yourself into a direction. I'm going to start walking here. Trying to push yourself in a direction of health and preventative medicine, getting yourself whole foods and plenty of exercise, plenty of brain workouts and stuff, and I think that's not only going to make you feel good in the moment, but it's going to give you a better quality of life in general. We've just got to get smart about all this kind of stuff. We've got to be smart. At the end of the day, it boils down to the same thing as personal responsibility for things in life, but we've also got a cultural responsibility. If it's a lot more difficult for you to stop drinking alcohol when everyone is drinking around you. It's a lot more difficult for you to change your diet and to, like for instance here, it's very difficult from a cultural perspective to be a vegan because it's just not in the culture. It's easy from one perspective because there's a ton of fresh fruit and vegetables. So as long as I want to cook all my own food, no problem, right? I can eat what I want. You know, I can eat all the cooked food that I want. If I want to go and eat raw food, I can eat raw food. You know, whatever type of diet I want to do, I can do. You know, certain ingredients that I can't get over here that are probably more accessible in big cities and bigger countries. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a lifestyle that's open to me. Going out and eating out is a different thing because they look at you like you're very strange, you know, and I can understand why. It's against the culture, right? But in order for changes to happen on a cultural level, they have to happen on an emotional level, right? They can't be put out and you know, you can't be dictated to by governments and told what to do, you know. You have to do it from an emotional level, and that kind of emotional graduation takes a lot of time to come about. You know, just think about cigarettes, for instance, and how many years it has taken from when smoking cigarettes in public, smoking cigarettes in general, was an acceptable thing to do, right, in our culture, to where it is now, and the cultural, the emotional changes that have happened on a cultural level. You know, people look at if you're a non-smoker now, even as an ex-smoker, I look at cigarette smoking with disgust. You know, it's just a horrible thing to do. It's not nice at all. You know, when you look at the smell of it, or the smell of cigarette smoke on people's breaths, the price that people are paying. You know, in Ireland now at the moment, I think it's definitely over €10 for a packet of 20 cigarettes, if not more. So, you know, what they could be doing with that money, just in their own lives, never mind in other people's lives. The amount of money that's being spent on a countrywide, nationwide level for you know, covering up the health costs of people's habits and addictive habits like that. Same with alcohol. You know, looking at cigarette butts all around the place. You know, all of that, and there's just this disgust about things now about the cigarette smoking in general. So it's going to take a long while before that happens. Will it happen in 50 years? I hope so. I hope that people will start to see. I see it now in the younger generation, in a lot of youngsters who are coming out and saying that they don't need to go out and drink. They don't need to take drugs, and that they've got so much more going on in their lives, right? Now, I'm not saying that addiction is not there. I think addiction is still there when you see young people on their phones. There's a great talk by, I think it's Simon Sinek. I think that's his name. I'll put a link down below for this guy, and he's talking about just the addictions of young people now to their mobile phones when they walk into you know, they go into the office environment for the first time and everyone's in a meeting. The younger the person, the more they are catching up on their phone instead of catching up with each other, you know, instead of talking amongst each other in small talk and all that kind of stuff. They're, you know, their head on the phone, and then all of a sudden when the meeting starts, they put the phone away, right? They're not allowed to take the phone out then, right? It's the same thing with, you know, the younger generation is so used to getting things on an instant gratification level that it's very difficult for long-term things to take place. You know, relationships are long-term. I think Simon calls them sort of dirty things that you have to do, not in the term of, you know, anything bad, but, you know, they're bit by bit, you know, moment by moment. You know, a relationship doesn't go from meeting somebody to getting married. It goes from meeting somebody and being awkward and making small chit chat and getting to know small things about each other, and, you know, somebody buying flowers and going for a meal and going to the movies, and then it gradually progresses from there, you know, and friendships grow like that. And most things in life that are worthwhile grow like that, you know, in this small, very menial things that have to be done bit by bit, once after the other, you know, sequences of things that have to be done like that. So I really can see the start of this in the younger people. You know, there's I don't think it's going to take much to get the ball rolling. I think that, you know, you're seeing bans on advertising in sports, and, you know, there's people who are trying to influence it in the opposite direction in this world, and let's hope that they don't get their own way. But yeah, hopefully, you know, but it's all going to come about through education and as I say, through those emotional reactions to this type of thing, you know. Let's hope. Let's hope. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't have a crystal ball, but you know, I'm hoping that, you know, I don't want to see alcohol gone. I don't want to see heroin or cocaine, or, you know, these things all have uses. You know, we can use these in wise ways in our lives, but at the end of the day, you know, putting it into your body on a consistent and a devastating level is just not right. So, you know, let's hope things change. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Good luck. Bye now.